One Piece.
One Piece.
One Piece.
Pere, 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 pere.
Pere, 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 pere. This is One Piece chapter 1051, Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke. Cover page update. The Vinsmoke family is just blown up at Whole Cake Island, it seems, and is now escaping emotionlessly. So, very cool. I guess they made it out. Good for them. Meanwhile, we cut into the chapter proper. Last we left off, Kaido's defeat has been announced across all of Onigashima and now all of Wano, and the Akazaya 9 are now emerging from the smoke. And turns out everybody's okay. Keenanmon's okay. Everyone's okay. Is Kiku okay? I didn't even peep if he's okay or she's okay. Oh man, for whatever reason, the reader has shorted out on me. But anyway, they're all coming through the smoke. It's very cool. And oh man, why is these first few pages weird? Anyway, back to Onigashima. Yamato introduces himself to the crew as someone who is actually going to be joining their crew. So,
like, all right, Yamato, fucking relax, okay?
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, Nami and Usopp.
Or you end up part of the big crew, the B-Leaguers.
The B-Leaguers, yeah, the fleet.
B-listers, yeah, the fleet.
Yeah. Nami and Usopp are shocked. Frankie's like, huh? Our crew? On our crew?
What are you talking about? Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Oh, Kiku did survive. The page finally loaded. It was very weird. Yeah, Kiku made it. Anyway, so Sanji and Brook are hype. They're like, yeah, another girl on the team. And Jinbei's like, it's nice of you to invite yourself, but it's the captain that decides that.
Oh, I love that Jinbei checked them niggas, yo. He's really the second hand. Like, Zoro's the second hand man, but only because he's the strongest. Jinbei's is the next acting captain. Well, I used to think Robin would be the next, she would be the second in command, but definitely Jinbei.
Yeah.
I mean,
say that again, Josh?
He was his own captain.
Yeah. Besides, Zoro is out of commission at the moment. He's currently, I guess, fighting for his life.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah, so after they check on Luffy, he's being tended to by Chopper, as well as Zoro. Zoro's also being tended to. The little henchmen from Kaido's crew all run away. And Jinbei's like, I mean, it seems like they've given up, so what's the harm? Let them go.
Yeah, so we could chill.
Yeah. So yeah, they run away. And Otama is basically talking about the remaining. What are the gifters? They're the gifters. They're just also shouting to stay there. Don't move, all that stuff. And Otama and Usopp's like, hey, what happens with those guys? Because Otama made them eat her little cheek dumplings that make them kind of mind controlled. And she talks about how, sometimes these guys tend to revert to who they are, and sometimes they remain my buddies, and they stick with me. Horselina seems to have survived the battle, and she's like, I hope you stay with me too, Horselina. Like not as a servant, but as a mommy. And Horselina's like, oh, so cute. Very cute little moment. So they turn back to the action on Wano. All of the Akazaya 9 are knelt down in this cool panel where we see what looks to be Momonosuke emerging from the smoke, covered by the smoke. It's very cool, and everybody's just reacting to who this is. He's talking about how he's glad that it's been 20 years since Odin died. I'm glad you guys have survived all these long and difficult years. And at that moment, we see Otama kind of getting this little flashback about her parents dying in the factory, in the weapons factory that Kaido has basically enslaved the people of Wano in. Oh man, another one. Damn, this reader's weird. I'm gonna download this real fast. But damn, I'm sorry guys. This shit just like
what's a load up.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with this. The reader's been acting up for a moment there.
Okay. I mean, they're basically retelling the story that we should kind of remember of Otama. That, you know.
Yeah, but more specifically. Okay, I got it. It's back to normal. I downloaded the chapter because it was bugging out. Okay, so you know she's it's cuts to her being a child selling hats and you know being basically an orphan on the streets of Wano, where she finds Tengu, and he's telling her basically like, you're an orphan, just bear with it only for a few more years until the day that a powerful samurai called the Kozuki return and vanquish the ogres for good. And we cut to the present, and that day has finally fucking come, and she starts breaking down into tears in Nami's arms, and she remembers what Luffy said about making sure by the time that they leave Wano that it'll be a place where they can eat as much as they want every single day. And Momonosuke's speech continues over the loudspeaker, even telling them about how they started the alliance with the pirates and the ninja and the Minks to raid Onigashima. That's something that didn't happen in Alabasta. They had to kind of keep like the Straw Hats' involvement in that a secret for the most part. Yeah, and we see Luffy actually like kind of smiling, unconscious. I don't know if he could hear it really, but he's smiling because you know he won the battle, regardless of whether he hears it or not. And Momonosuke puts up his sword. He says, "Kaido, Orochi, the Animal Kingdom pirates, every eagle that plagues our fair land has been vanquished." Kid wasn't part of the alliance initially, so he's like, "The what alliance?" I just paped that panel. So he's not really familiar with it.
I mean, they made their own alliance earlier, so it can't be tight.
Yeah. I guess he just wasn't like privy to the whole alliance altogether, but yeah. So at that point, Momonosuke actually runs out of things to say, because you know public speaking is not his forte. But Kinemon encourages him to just keep going and bluff his heart out, make shit up, and that's when Momonosuke talks about how his father gave him the name that means invincible. Under my rule, this parched and ruined land will turn to a paradise on earth. Lend me your strength and let us work towards this end together. I've traveled 20 years to save you all from now on. And we get a full 2-page spread of Momonosuke's adult form. And he says, I, Kozuki Momonosuke, will lead the land of Wano. Tears all around. Everybody starts breaking down. And he starts, Momonosuke thinks to himself that he's going to follow in his father's footsteps. And the entire country of Wano cheers. You know, and we get like this cool like narration, you know, poetic narration thing as the chapter closes out with the narration concluding, "This is the birth of the man who would be known around the world as the great Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke." And that's where the chapter ends. So, Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
Okay, I'm just going to go to the very first thing that was on my mind after finishing reading this chapter. Momonosuke should have joined the crew instead of Yamato.
That's a hot take. Why?
He doesn't have to be a strong fighter or anything like that. I just figured the point is that, and I get that they're doing that with Yamato, right? Because she she calls herself Odin and wants to travel the world like he did, but Momonosuke should have did that, man. He's still so young, and I thought this would have been like a more rewarding feeling to see him in his older form and to say like, all right, I'm gonna go out and travel. You know what I'm saying? They don't got a dragon in the crew. That's important. That's helpful. That's unique.
Yeah.
Nobody else has. And then what's Yamato? She's just a strong person with a she's
got a mystical zone. She has an ancient zone as well.
Come on, we already got a zone on the crew.
She has an ancient zone.
Yeah, come on, man.
Or a mythical zone. She's similar to Yamato in that way. But go on.
No, I mean that's about it. I guess I don't know. I'm not in love with Yamato as a crew member, and I felt that way about even the crew members I don't like that much. All of them, I thought it was really cool, you know, when they joined the crew, and I just don't have that same feeling with Yamato. And I thought it would have been real proper with had it been Momonosuke. I mean, he was with them this whole time, you know what I'm saying, since Punk Hazard, like since in the Punk Hazard, he's been with them like through so much shit and learned so much. So I don't know. Like he's a young leader, you know what I'm saying? He's someone that he needs to go learn the world more and go through some more shit before he's ready to lead a whole country. I'm not saying he can't do it now. That narrative would have been so nice. That's what I would have liked to see. With all of that said, I mean, it was a nice little wrap up to the chapter. I mean, it kind of brought us back with the little girl, Toma. Otama, yeah. You know, kind of letting us know, like, yeah, guys, this country was really fucked up, and they just like changed everything. So, you know, these people's lives are going to change. They cured the heartland of Wano, therefore also cleansing the spirituality of all Japanese people in the real world. And so it was just done well. What can I say?
Yeah.
Oh no, I like that there was no cliffhanger at the end of this. So you know what that means.
Post Wano.
Oh yeah.
That's sick. Were those all your thoughts?
Pretty much. Brian, you have any thoughts that stick out from this chapter?
I kind of agree. Like, I did kind of want Momonosuke to be the one to set sail with the Straw Hats, and honestly, I still think that could possibly happen. Just because, like, I said this a long ass time ago, but I still feel like Momonosuke and Yamamoto. What, I forget, how do you say it? Yamato. I feel like they both embody two different parts of Odin. Like, they both embody the parts of Odin that, like, could have been, you know? Like, I feel like, you know how there was the version of Odin that wanted to go out to sea and didn't want to lead his nation? And then there's the part of him that regrets leaving. So I feel like they both could play both sides of that same thing. Where, you know, Yamato wants to go out to sea, but her place is really in Wano. Or Momonosuke wants to lead Wano, but his place is still going out to sea and learning about the world. So I feel like they could do that kind of thing, like a switcheroo. And this could be kind of like a subversion of expectations. So you never know. Oda likes to surprise sometimes or catch people off guard. Because again, we haven't seen what Luffy has chosen yet when it comes to Yamato joining the crew. I feel like Oda doesn't usually write that stuff in without there being something that has to be taken care of. So we'll see in the weeks to come what the verdict is on it. But for now, you know, I think Yamato is fine joining the crew if it does happen. They really did need another powerhouse on the crew, and Yamato is going to bring that shit for sure.
Yeah.
I have just a quick rebuttal.
Yeah.
That I know you get into some thoughts, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking further, like, Yamato, like, what's good with all these Animal Kingdom pirates? I'm not saying Kaido is dead and gone forever, but they still in the land, they still in the area. I think Yamato should have been the person to take over that group and then like force them to protect Wano or something like that. You know what I mean? Protect the seas and also be part of, down with Luffy's. Like, because they're not Wano, they could be just, they'll be indoctrinated in Luffy's crew, his, what do they call it? His fleet?
The Straw Hat Grand Fleet.
Yeah, right? Like, I feel like that would have fit a little bit more proper. And then it's like, come on, Momonosuke has the voice of all things, so it would have been him and Luffy. And, Luffy's kind of a goofball. So in situations where he would have been hearing things, it would have been nice for there to be another person to give a different perspective. Because I don't think Usopp is going to develop that level of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But those are just my last thoughts on that situation.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that stuff. I do think Momonosuke is going to end up staying in Wano. I don't think because I don't know who else is going to lead Wano. I don't know. I don't think they'll accept Yamato, and I don't think like Hiyori will be a shogun necessarily.
You don't think Lady Toki could do it?
Who?
Lady Toki? Well, his daughter.
Sister.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they'll like accept Hiyori. It could be like a custom thing, but I don't know.
That's so dope.
I technically like it would have to be a samurai because shogunate are like traditionally, I guess, samurais, but I could be wrong about that. This is just from what I understand about like the Kozuki clan in general.
Could be Kinemon.
No way, they're not gonna let Kinemon. Kinemon's
why not?
Kinemon was kind of like known as like the village idiot for the longest time before he.
But think about the growth. Sorry to talk over your thoughts.
No, I just don't see it. I mean, it's very possible that Momonosuke could go with them, but I don't see it because he does need to stay. I don't know who else is supposed to be there. Like these people are, like the people of Wano are just gonna have like just some like sub ruler, like when Momonosuke just fucks off to go, like in random adventures. I think he needs to be there to build it up again and make it his own, kinda. Because like Kaido left that shit in ruins. You know what I mean? And they were waiting for him specifically. So I don't really see him leaving. And I think like I'd be okay with him staying because he would have there's nothing stopping him from having a role later on. I think there's a lot of indication that Momonosuke is gonna return if he does remain in Wano. That doesn't mean he has to be a pirate. I don't think they'd love it. Like I feel like it'd be different if he were a pirate than if Odin was a pirate. Because I don't think Odin qualified himself as such. He was more of an adventurer than a pirate. You know what I mean? And Luffy's definitely like doing pirate shit out there. But I don't know. I feel like this whole time Luffy's been also teaching him leadership and all that stuff and kind of grooming him to be an effective leader. We had these little moments where Momonosuke would just like flash to what Luffy taught him. So I feel like that's what it's been building up for. It's like he's going to take Luffy's example and be kind of like a leader like him. And maybe open the borders of Wano. I think he's not going to do it right now because Wano's kind of in ruins right now. And it's not in any position to be like exposed to the world this way.
Right.
So yeah, I think a lot of things has to be done. I don't know if Momonosuke could just up and leave Wano after everything that's happened and what all the people are expecting. At the same time, I also don't know if Yamato will end up really joining. I feel like we would know for sure by now. And I feel the same way you guys feel, where I like Yamato, but like he's not a crew member yet. All the other crew members have had some time on their hands before becoming like a part of the core Thousand Sunny crew. So I think the best case scenario is something that you mentioned, Josh. I think like Yamato might take hold of the Animal Kingdom pirates that are remaining and kind of be part of the Grand Fleet. but still get what he wants in exploring the world. He just won't do it with Luffy necessarily. He'll just have a crew of his own and sail and see the world that way, in the same way that all the others did.
I did, yeah.
So that's what I could be wrong about all this shit, but I don't know. I feel like all this buildup was for Momonosuke to kind of like take over at Wano, and it'd be weird if he didn't. In a way, it's like we did all these things to free you guys. Bye now,
Peace. I'm gonna go figure out the world a little bit. Then I'm
gonna go out and really find myself.
Yeah, hold it down for me, Kinemon.
Yeah. And I think I don't think he'd be able to leave without taking the Akazaya 9 with him. So that's 9 other characters that you'd have to. I think theoretically in character, I don't think any of them would just let him leave without them. So maybe Momonosuke, in theory, could also be part of the fleet in that way. He can be, him and the Akazaya 9 could just be part of the fleet as well. So
the whole country is down for him. We should talk about that Straw Hat Nation.
Yeah, that's Straw Hat. Yeah, that is Straw Hat Nation. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As for the chapter itself, what else happened? Otama's story was appropriately sad.
Appropriately
made me sad. I was like, oh, Otama, and she was the first character that we actually met on Wano. So it's good to finally have her closure. Yeah, this is a good chapter. It's just epilogue, a bookend, to the Wano, and now I imagine we're going to be getting into the post Wano material / obligatory post arc celebration party thing. Where they're actually going to probably finally officially induct Jinbei into the crew by having the sake cups. That was interrupted a while back. They didn't do it. They said that they would wait until they freed Wano so they could do it all together. And you know what? I think by doing the sake cups with Wano, the entire nation of Wano being we're on the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, this entire country. So I think that would be way cooler if he ends up inducting pretty much everybody in Wano into the Grand Fleet to a degree. I think that'd be sick. But
I just wonder. I wonder what's next, because there's still the Marines outside, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. You're right.
So I wonder if them not opening Momonosuke's decision to not open Wano's borders is a temporary thing until he meets with the Navy, or if it's a long-term thing for a specific reason.
Yeah, he said yet. He said he's not going to open the borders yet. And I think part of that is just well, I got to get my shit together here first. I have to get Wano's shit together collectively before
does that mean Zunisha is the key to opening up Wano's borders?
No, I mean, the opening of Wano's borders is just basically a decision. I will invite the Navy or the world government onto my land so we can negotiate my involvement in it or whatever the case may be. It's not a physical thing that needs to be done. It's Momonosuke has to decide, and then there will be steps implemented to do so. Zunisha will probably stick around Wano, probably just to keep it safe and smack marine ships out of the way until it's time. But yeah, that's all that entails. I think. I don't think there's a specific magical element to it. I think it's literally Momonosuke is not ready to open it, and it's a bureaucratic thing, more than anything.
I just wanted a One Piece info dump already.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd have to leave Wano in order to get that info dump, because there's no outside world news coming into Wano, and there hasn't been in forever. So, we'll see. It might be a while before we get our coveted post-arc info dump. But those were my thoughts. This was a pretty cool chapter. This was the audience voted really good chapter of the week, by the way.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
And if you like that, if you want to vote in the poll, you can follow us at New Jump City on Twitter. And we put up the poll a couple hours after the chapter is out on the official release. So check us out there. But yeah, this was the audience voted. I think it won 51% of the vote. But everything got a little vote this week.